All right, so today we are going to walk through this sales workflow and we're going to talk about how you could use AI to automate your sales. This comes from a lot of lessons we've learned in automating sales flows in businesses over the last few years. We've done this over 50 businesses just in the last year. And it might be a little bit surprising which of the steps you should actually automate and which ones you should leave in human hands. And we'll dive into that a little bit later. But learning this kind of process through the sales workflows really taught us that AI isn't a solution that will replace everything. It's only a tool that is going to help a human enhance their craft or their skill that they're building. So at the end of the day, you always hear this stuff about people are afraid AI is going to replace jobs. I could tell you pretty decisively that's not the case. It's not going to be possible for it to be able to do certain specializations as we learned in automating sales. So first, in the sales workflow, what happens in just a regular sales flow is a person is identified that fits into your ideal customer profile. So when you're thinking about this from an automation standpoint, you have like some set of like parameters that exist out here, and people are hitting some sort of information or data sources, some sort of screening tool. This can be like an LP, this can be like a quiz, this can be like, if you're doing a cold, it can be research. It can be anything that is allowing you to gather information. People go through a filtration process, and then some number of people come out of the other side because it's like, okay, cool. All of these people fit into the types of people that we think we can provide value to, and we want to connect with those people. So then as you go through your sales process, you have a few more steps. You have to find the company information, find their contact information, and then add them to a list. So this is typically what they would call lead enrichment. So this is going to be, this is going to be Googling or LinkedIn or a variety of tools. LinkedIn. A lot of people do this on like Sales Navigator. You could use like Apollo, for example. You could use Clay. And then those tools fall through down to here, where you might contact with a LinkedIn profile and just DM them and say, or add them or interact with them. Or they might result in an email or phone. And then finally, all that information gets added to a nice list where you have all this information. So everything that I've described here is a research step. These are things that should be automated, all of this. However, you get to a problem when you start to want to automate the human part, which is something that was interesting that we found out. So you have your list, and what we've had a lot of people ask, and you've probably seen these types of tools on the marketplace, they say, okay, great, so we have that list. For each person that exists now, can you write them a specific email that they're going to receive that is going to be, specifically tailored to them, and it's going to make them set up meetings on my calendar. So like, people want to be a little bit lazier about it. They don't want to do the work. So they're just like, hey, fill up my calendar. Well, tough luck, because you're not going to fill up your calendar that way, because this juncture here, I'm going to just highlight it in brighter color here. This juncture here is critical. This is a human juncture. And the real question that we had to ask in this process is, why is this a human juncture? Why is every single step that happened before this a step that could be easily automated, that you could ask AI to do, that it does well, and you can work your way to a great solution? Why can't you automate this part of the business where it's a human to human connection? Well, I'll tell you exactly what we discovered is that on the other end of this email that's being sent is a person on the other end of each one. So there's something that happens when you go and use AI to try to understand a person. And when you try to specifically write these types of emails, when you use AI to try and understand a person in this way, you'll have a human here in all their multifaceted layers and forms, and AI is going to reduce them to just a sliver of who they are. It's going to be the part of them that I could research online. Then it's going to take that data and extrapolate it into a new version of what it thinks the person is. But this, what the AI creates, is not the same as this. It is completely different, and it should be very, very clearly noted that an AI's version of a person is not close to who that person is. And it's very similar to this whole, don't judge a book by its cover thing. I'll just write it here, but it's true. You should never judge a book by its cover, because when you do, you're going to look at the data that's on a very surface level about a person, and you're going to extrapolate a version of them that never really existed. So when you create that version of them that never really existed, it turns out then when you write an email for this person, it doesn't necessarily resonate with this person. And so you get a lot of friction, or you get no response. And people don't really know how to solve this, and the way they solve it is they just try to barrage people with emails and just try to solve it with volume. Scaling a crappy thing is bad for everybody, and it's not worthwhile. So it's better to focus on automating this part of your business, the easily automatable part, to enable this human part of the business. But what you're doing by automating all of this is you're taking your time back, and your time gets reinvested into the human element in your business. And what you'll typically see happen is that when you reinvest into the human element, and this is not pure corporate mathematics by any means, but let's just look at this on a grander scale. If you're taking all of the time that typically would go to process, which in our experience is about 80% of a person's time. So you're looking at maybe 32 hours per week that is going from that process into here. Well, what that translates to, because they were only doing 8 hours a week before, is a 400% growth. And it's crazy, but it's true that you can achieve results like this. That's a crazy number to put in writing, but it's absolutely true that you can achieve this. And it comes from taking that first part, automating it, and knowing when to say no to AI. When to say the way in which an algorithm works isn't going to serve the function at hand, because it's not going to have a complete picture of what's going on. A human who looks at another human's profile is able to grasp a million things an AI could never grasp about that person. And that's what's valuable about the human-to-human connection. And it's not something that AI will ever be able to grasp. And so hopefully this is a helpful introduction to implementing AI into sales workflows, some learnings from how we've done it, and you can take these lessons and translate them to any other part of your business when you are integrating AI.